You know, the poverty rate in the peninsula now is over 20, I think 22%, which may be correct. I think it's over 22% are actually living in poverty. And that's hard to believe when you see the wealth that we have. But the challenges that are faced with the high cost of living and some of the other issues. So that's something that we want to address and try and help those people get on their feet and start moving. But it's difficult. But this governor has been put restraints on. But just looking at why we're not the rise and fall of California. We have a budget that we passed last year, and with a lot of restraints in it, but we have added money to the UC system, we added money to the CSU system, we've had the middle-class scholarship program that we put together to provide scholarships for the middle-class students, the ones who, if you turn around, they're going to be in poverty unless we can help them get through college and help them sustain themselves there. And so we provided funds there. We increased a lot of funds for a lot of good services at the same time, but we will end this year probably with a budget surplus. This will be June 30th of about $2 to $4 billion. And that's extraordinary. A lot of that has to do with the cuts that we made before. A lot of it has to do with the gratefulness of all of us for your support of Proposition 30 last year. And that really helped provide, especially for education, some of the funds. But we've turned the corner, I believe, from a fiscal standpoint. Now, we could have spent that $4 billion. We could have done that. But we didn't, and we want to make sure that we can keep that. And in doing that, we are also resolving some of the structural deficit that was created. Because as you know, during that 5 years when we made those $50 billion of cuts that we needed to make because the revenues dropped so much, we were able to borrow funds that we now have to pay back. And in that budget that we created, we're also paying some of that money back. So we're doing some good things, I think, in that regard to make a difference and kind of bring things together. The other part that I think is important is what we've done and what the governor did in education. Since we spoke last, we now have the local control funding formula. Well, you might say, you've read about it, but why is that important? What does that do? Well, the critical nature of that is in the district that I represent, that I just told you about, from Brisbane to Sunnyvale, there are 35 school districts within that district. 35 independent different school districts. One of those school districts today provides a $17,000 per student per year education. $17,000 per student. There's another district not far from that one that provides a $4,800 education. And you can imagine the district that's getting the $4,800 is the one that needs the $17,000. Those are the non-English learners and the English learners, non-English students. Those are the ones who are coming from an economically depressed